Hello and welcome, my fellow main characters. My name is Bam and welcome back to, or welcome to the first time, Main Character Boons, a series on the channel where I share something either fitness or self-improvement related with you guys from my perspective in a hopes to encourage you and to empower you to live your main character dreams. So with that in mind, my fellow main characters, we're going to keep this topic very simple, and this is getting started with the gym, or getting started in general. So my fellow main characters, if you were to humor your boy, I want to share a little bit of I would like to share a little bit of what's been going on in my life and how it's been impacting my ability when it comes to YouTube, and how it's been impacting my ability to get started with just doing things that are productive for my life. So I recently got a new job working at a new gym in the city, but I work as a fitness coach over there, and so far learning a lot and having a relatively good time. But starting off as a coach, the schedule is very erratic, right? It's like you're trying to build up clientele, you're working floor shifts at a variety of different times, you're traveling from the gym back to your place, you're basically scheduling and rescheduling with clients. It could be very confusing, right? It can be very daunting because it's just a very chaotic workflow. And honestly, for the past couple of weeks, I've been using that as a excuse, if you will, to not really take my YouTube channel seriously. I was just saying, like, man, every time I came back home, I'd be just too tired. My schedule would be so erratic that it'll be hard for me to make time to make YouTube videos. This honestly was eating at my heart for weeks, because to be real with you guys, my big dream is to grow this YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers and to impact lives in a very positive and encouraging way through anime and fitness. That's my thing. So every day that passes that I didn't put work into my YouTube channel, I felt almost as if that ideal, that dream that I had was slowly dying. And I was like, oh my gosh, please, I need to make time to go to my YouTube channel. I need to make time to work on it. Funny enough, I would find time to work on my YouTube channel, right? I would find time to set up the camera and get my editing software set up, and I'll start outlining a video, but then I'll still feel this resistance. Towards working on my video, working on the channel. And for the longest time, I just couldn't understand what was wrong with me. What was wrong with my ability to output work on my YouTube channel? And recently, it actually hit me where I was working with a client. There's an interesting thing about being a coach that maybe some other coaches can relate to this, but this is just my experience. There's almost this desire to be performative, this desire to basically make a whole show, like basically say like, hey, you know, like look at this super fancy and complex workouts I could come up with so that you could work with me, right? It's like that you just want to showcase all the value, all the fancy complex movements and workout sequences that's really going to help to optimize to help that person achieve their goals, and you just want to show all your value, and you want to show them the reason why they should work with you and not with anyone else, and why the packages cost so much and why it's worth it. Funny enough, I have to give credit and a shout out and a deep appreciation to my first client I worked with at this new gym. I made a workout plan for him, and I did develop a little bit of those bells and whistles into the workout. As I was doing the training with him, he was enjoying it for the most part, but there'll be times where he would express the idea of like, please, can we just keep it simple? All that stuff that CU trainers do is like cool or whatever, but literally I feel like this is literally him telling me this. He said, like, I feel like if I were to have to do that on a regular basis, I would quit. And I was taken back by that because, for one, a part of my brain came through saying like, yeah, see, Chris, that's what I was telling you, man. You don't need to add all these bells and whistles in. You don't need to compete with these other trainers. You don't need to showcase like, oh my gosh, this is why you should do training, right? You just create a program that is simple and effective, and you just be a good coach helping them get towards their goals. Like, you don't need to do all these extra bells and whistles. Like, on some level, I felt as a trainer I may need to do that to showcase value to the person. But that client, and he's a sweet guy. Don't get me wrong, he appreciated most of the training, but those extra bells and whistles that I wanted to put some extra pizzazz and stuff to it and add some more complexity to it, he was like, nah, like I know if you put that in my routine and you expect me to do it, it's going to demotivate me and not make me do it. I was like, wow. And at that point, I started reflecting on what's the true value of being a coach. And this is a little bit of a side note, but the true value of being a personal trainer or being a coach is not giving them all these extra bells and whistles, all this extra complex BS that makes us sound smart and intelligent and makes us feel like a unique resource that they can't get anywhere else. The main point of being a coach is to help a person adhere to a program and be consistent with it moving forward. And of course, doing the scientific research on the back end, making sure like, they're hitting their benchmarks and like making sure their form is correct and tracking things and keeping in mind what they're eating and their sleep patterns, all that stuff. But the great majority of everything, like 80% of it, is helping someone be consistent. And the easiest way to make someone be consistent, not just with working out, but almost anything, is keeping it simple. And you know what's one of the coolest things about keeping it simple is that if you start off simple and it's easy enough for you to do on a consistent basis, eventually that simple thing that you were doing becomes almost habitual. It almost becomes like an autopilot. And then this magical thing called boredom starts to kick in. And boredom says, hey man, we've been doing this for a while. How about we spice it up? How about we add a little bit more pizzazz to it? Not too much, nothing too crazy. Let's still keep it within our capacity, but let's add a little bit more pizzazz, right? In a workout term, that is, let's add a little bit more weight to the bar. How about we add a little bit more mileage to our running? How about we add a superset? How about we change the movement patterns? How about we strive for this, strive for that, but all staying within our current capacity? And we allow boredom to come in to tell us when something that we've been doing for a long time, very simple and effective, which is good, but boredom will come in to encourage us to do a little bit more. For me, I'm taking that with this channel now, and I'm doing that with this video. This is not something that I'm really scripting. I'm just kind of talking from my experience and just saying like, you know what, Chris, stop trying to template and make these things all pizzazz and all these extra fancy bells and whistles and stuff, like all that will come, but just start off simple. Just start off simple and do what you can and don't make it too hard. And honestly, that advice that client gave me really just helped me to just be like, yeah, let me just keep it simple, right? Let me just be myself. Let me not be so performative, right? And honestly, that's helped to frame how I interact with clients moving forward. And it's been really beneficial. And I've been noticing that my clients that I've been putting onto my roster has been appreciating that method, just appreciating me being me and me creating simple programs, and just knowing that the true value of coaching with working with a coach in general is literally having a consistent partner helping you to stay on track with hitting your goals. And of course, we come up with plans that we think will be the most effective, but ultimately keeping things simple. So all that being said, my fellow bike characters, I want to put this to you guys as something to think about. Is if you are having a hard time getting started with working out, if you're having a hard time getting started with anything in particular, maybe how you're thinking about it and maybe how you want to do it is a little too hard for you right now. And that is not me saying that you're not capable of doing it, but if you've been finding that for weeks, days, months, years have been going by, and you've always thought about going to the gym, or you've always thought about getting onto a workout plan, or you always thought about doing a YouTube channel and creating YouTube content, or whatever it may be, my encouragement to you would be to make it simple. If it's working out, maybe it's just doing 5 push-ups a day. If it's trying to get into moving more, maybe it's walking down the block today. Maybe it's just walking for 10-15 minutes. Walking is, side note, walking is pretty effective, man. Like my mom lost a lot of weight just by walking. Like she's a trooper. She walks on a daily basis now, and she's hitting milestones, right? Before she started off, she would walk 3 miles, and now she's at a point where she's walking 7 miles each day, pretty consistent, 5 times a week, and I'm super proud of her for what she's doing and everything. But it's just walking, right? She's keeping it simple. And when it comes to if you want to do a YouTube channel, right? And you're like, oh man, I need to create my first video, but like I want to make it look good and have the lighting and all the editing and all this stuff. I need all this, blah, blah, blah. I need all of that stuff. You don't need it. Just pull out your phone, set it up somewhere. Maybe even if you don't have a tripod, just have like a book or a box and just set it up there, get a little bit of a janky angle, try to, have good lighting, try to wait for the sun to come in, whatever. And just record and talk about what you want to talk about. And it might not be the content that you've always aspired and wanted to do, but you start somewhere. Us people that are muscle bound, we want to bench like 315 and 405, but if you're only able to bench 135 right now, start there. Make that feel easy, and then just add a little bit of weight. It'll take time, but eventually you'll get to that 225. Eventually you will get to that 315, and eventually you will get to that 405, right? Progressive overload, as us personal trainers and fitness enthusiasts call it. So yeah, guys, if you want a way to break through that procrastination, break through that wall that's been preventing you from starting what you've always wanted to start, I encourage you to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Anyways, my family characters, thank you for taking time to listen to your boy share some boons with y'all. I hope it's helpful. Always remember that before you go, you are the main character of your own story. If you're interested in more content like this, or you have suggestions for other videos to come in the future, enter that comment section and subscribe to see more. And yeah, that's it. So anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.